Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am sharing with you my delicious berry cheesecake that I just made for my birthday. So let's get into it. So we're starting off with the base. So there are other options you could use. There are several options. This time I used digestive biscuits. So all the exact quantities will be in the description below. So what we're doing is just trying to break this up. So you can either do it that way in a Ziploc bag with a rolling pin, or you can put it in a food processor, or you could put it in a blender. So what you're trying to do is just create the crumbs so that you can mix it with the butter to make the base. So for the cheesecake, you need a spring-form pan. The reason is you can remove the sides to easily lift that cheesecake out. So get a spring-form pan and we're going to be pressing our crust in there. Now some people actually pre-bake this for a few minutes, but I don't. I just put it in the fridge to chill so it can get nice and firm. So what we do is we're pressing the crushed digestives and butter mixture into the base. You can do it as thin or as thick as you want to. Some people actually put the base up to the sides, but I like my cheesecake crust just at the bottom because I want more cheesecake than crust to deal with. Once it looks nice and smooth and creamy and lump free, then you can go in and add the other ingredients. Now the reason you want to scrape down the sides of the bowl is just to make sure the entire mixture is getting creamed properly by the cake mixer. So now it's time to add our eggs. I do take out that white stringy thing, the shalaza, just because that's what I did growing up. That's what I learned, that it does contribute to that raw eggy smell. So I take it out, and then we're gonna add the eggs one at a time. Alright, so the crust has been chilled, and now we can go ahead and add the filling. I'll be using maybe 3/4 of this batter because the rest of it I'm going to use to make some cheesecake cupcakes. So I think maybe about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch was left as far as the space between the top and the batter. If you want to use all of the mixture, then you can just use a 9-inch springform pan. So put it on the center rack and bake it. So after it bakes, what I do is I leave the oven ajar, and I'm gonna let the cake sit in the oven to set because you want it to firm up. And then once it firms up, take that out and take a look. Everything looks great. So right now all I'm doing is just loosening the cake a little bit so it will be easier to take it out of the pan. Alright, so we will be making a homemade strawberry blueberry topping. If you like blackberries, you can always add it to this. It's just a berry topping. What we're doing is cooking the berries in their own juice. I do add some lemon juice, just a little bit for freshness. And what we're going to do is just simmer the fruit slowly, and they're going to produce their own liquids. And then we're gonna thicken that up so that it's nice to spread on the cheesecake. So I do add the cornstarch and water just to add some thickness to this mixture because it is a little bit runny. So this will help to thicken that up. Make sure you stir while you add it so it doesn't lump up. Once the fruits have cooked significantly, what I do is I take some out and puree it, and then I just add it back to the sauce to make it even richer and thicker. I went ahead, I took out those strawberries and pureed them, added them to the mixture, and then I added some smaller fresh strawberries. If you have frozen strawberries, it's fine, you can add it too. Just make sure they're completely thawed before you add this topping to your cake. So if you're very busy, there's always this option. You can get a nice pie filling and you can top your cheesecake with that. But of course, homemade is always better. Alright, so now it's time to take out the cake. So we're just going to open the springform pan here and release the sides. And then we have the cheesecake on the base. Now what happens is if you leave the cheesecake on the base and you slice that up, then you cut up your springform pan base, leaving those, you'll see those slice marks. So we're going to take it off. So I'm using a spatula here. I'm just gonna slide it under. So just shimmy your way in there carefully and make sure your spatula is touching the base. And then just slide it under and loosen it. And just keep moving it back and forth until the cake is loosened. So this is just a cardboard circle that I wrapped with aluminum foil. So you can do that if you can't get to buy a actual cake board. So I'm just holding down the base with one hand, and then I go under with the spatula. I'm going in with a bigger one just to prevent it from breaking, even though it did feel pretty firm. And then you're just gonna slide the cake onto that foil wrapped base. So I had poured the topping from the pot onto this plate just to cool it down really quickly. And then I'm just gonna spoon the topping onto the cake. So remember, you do have options. If you don't want the whole fruit, you could puree the entire mixture. Or what you can do now is spoon on the liquid and then put the fruits all over, if or in a specific pattern if you want to. And there you have it, delicious berry cheesecake made from scratch at home. I know you guys can do this and you're gonna enjoy every single bite, trust me. Let's see how long you can make it last in that fridge at home. So thanks for watching, guys, and remember to leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Take care.